It's June of 1948, and the fledgling Appalachian and Western Railway has successfully completed its first month of service between its yard in East Whittier and the current end of the line in Ela. To ease Number 11's load and help with rebuilding the Ela Bridge, the AWRY has purchased a new locomotive. Number 12 is a 282 Mikado purchased from the port of Grays Harbor in Hoquiam, Washington. Now the AWRY and its owners must survive the reconstruction of the Ela Bridge. Alright, I hope everyone's enjoying the new style of of intro. This is the second time I'm trying to record this part of the intro because for the first time ever, I had a railroader crash. But anyway, as I was saying before, with the new intro style, I feel like it's a little better than me just standing in front of a locomotive and talking for 30 seconds. And it also gives me the ability to give you an overview of what's happening in a particular episode. So, let's get the log train with number 11 set to go up the mountain. And once we do that, we will use newly acquired number 12 to build the Ela and Whittier trains for the day and get started. So, let's get all of our doors, get our windows open, open the roof vent, and man, I'm just in love with these Lunar Locomotive Works catalog locomotives. Marquette Creations has done just an impeccable job with this catalog of engines. So let's, like I said, let's get everything switched out. And pretty much all we're going to have to do is just separate the sawmill cars, right? Yeah, pretty much. All right. Bang. Alright, take the brakes off of this. Put the brakes on here. Okay, we're going to have to wait for number 11 to clear everything. We might have enough distance to... Oh, she's already heading up that way. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, I do have her set at 15 miles an hour. I was scared I had her speed set at something ridiculous. Now, the repair cap for number 12 is 60%. With that being said, she's still at 90. And as a result, we should be able to run number 12 for, well, in-game it's a couple of days, or a few days. In our little story that we're telling here, it'll be a few months without having to even think about needing to give her an overhaul. And we won't give her an overhaul until that repair cap, until our repair level is back down to that repair cap. By then, we probably will have purchased a new locomotive. And, excuse me, something else I kind of want to do is with this series, now this is a little something extra new that I'm adding in, on top of all the other arbitrary rules that I have set up for myself in the last video. is that I don't want to have more than one extra locomotive. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to have more than one locomotive more than I have available space to store locomotives. So as of right now, we have enough stall space for both the locomotives we have. I don't want to go over 3 locomotives because I don't want to have that, I don't want to have like 5 locomotives sitting around up here at Whittier. And that's basically just a way to keep myself from doing what I normally do, which is purchase a singular locomotive for every job that needs to be done in the game. That's very strange. I don't know why railroaders struggling so much. Give me a save. Please give me a save. Whoa. I don't know what is happening. Okay, well, at least we're saved here. If it decides to crash again. I was saved by an autosave. It's very strange, actually. I've never had Railroader act like this. And I know it's not this mod because I've already run Railroader perfectly fine with it. Unless it's just something in particular with this locomotive. Or this tender swap. Which is possible, I guess. Anyway. It's a little bit frightening. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to lose progress. Which if I do, and I've just got to remember to start saving regularly. Pull what I used to have to pull when I played Skyrim on a really crappy PC. Yeah, I'll have to do a little digging before I record next time, see if I can figure out what might possibly be causing the massive lag issues. It's very strange. But we're going to get the caboose hooked up now. Which this is, a very inefficient way to hook a caboose up. AKA, moving the entire train and stopping and going multiple times just to hook up a caboose. But that's what we're going to do. Now, in the first episode, I said that I didn't want to buy any mics. I made the horrible joke about, this mic be the exception, whatever. But one advantage of this Mikado is that we will now have a locomotive that will go with us for quite some time. And actually, we wouldn't have ended up with a consolidation day anyway. The only locomotive that I really would have seriously thought about buying would have been another locomotive like number 11. Which would have needed to be repaired. Would have needed to be repaired? Would needed to have been repaired. So, it's not a terrible thing that we make the exception for number 12, and number 12 is growing on me already. Now, the only thing with number 12 having these little itty-bitty drivers like this is that I kind of feel like, let's see, when I get the caboose hooked up and we start her off towards Whittier, once she exits onto the main right there, let's see what her drivers look like at 20 miles an hour. Because I have a feeling even at 15 miles an hour, her drivers are going to be getting pretty good workout. She's past due. Her service odometer is 4,435 miles. Yeah, we'll see. I think she might. I think her drive gear, running gear might handle 20 miles an hour. I think. We'll see. I hope it does. I hope they do. But we'll, like I said, we'll find out. And bang. It's a fairly hard couple there. Engineer. Number 11 is about to be at the logging camp. Alright. And we'll just have number 12 stop here. But let's jump back to number 11. Oh, okay, now number 11 is there. The only thing with number 12 is she almost seems like she's already struggling, even just with... Well, I guess to be fair, this is a 1,000-ton, 17-car-long train. So, to be fair to number 12, this is a pretty hefty train, and this is one of the heftier trains that she's going to have to deal with for, you know, a fair amount of time. I think 20, I think she'll be able to handle 20 pretty easily. If the game can handle her doing 20 miles an hour. I mean, that's also going to be an issue. It appears. Alright. The caboose is almost off the yard switch. Let's see if we can get her up to 20 right here to test that running gear. Again, if the game can handle her going 20 miles an hour, we will. Let's do this real quick. Yeah, I think she'll handle... I think we can push her at 20 pretty well. Alright, I'll see you when we get to Whittier, guys. Alright. We have got number 12 and her train down here to Whittier. So we're going to set some air brakes here, here, on the rest of the train. Uncouple. We're going to pull her down to 10. Now, I do want to see if this looks ridiculous or not. Because I have a feeling it might look slightly ridiculous. Also, while she's doing that, I'm going to go oil my train's bearings. Excuse me, sorry. Because I didn't do that earlier. You know, if it's above 70, I'm not going to worry about it. That one certainly is not above 70. Yeah, if they're above 70, I think I'll just leave them. I can't remember what the threshold the game uses for a hotbox is, but... Oh man, that one would have probably caused a hotbox. That one most definitely was going to cause a hotbox. I've been meaning to add... Oh, 1 minute. I've been meaning to add a mod in, and just haven't thought about it. In the chaos that was this weekend for me, that actually makes cabooses useful. And the way it does that is if you leave your train sitting, which I think the game technically does it automatically, but it will automatically grease the bearings on the train that the caboose is attached to. So let's switch around which one of these has its handbrake set. I can't really set this thing anywhere yet to make it easy to run around later. There's one Whittier crossover mod that I wouldn't mind adding to the series, maybe for like right here or somewhere. But I still don't know how much use I would actually get out of that anyway. The little system that I use is pretty efficient. Does this thing have blind drivers? Yes. Both of the center drivers are blind, actually. Okay. So it is actually a really good locomotive to do this with. That's good. I wasn't even thinking about that when I did this. 99%, 53%. Let's oil this thing up as the train's moving. Marilism. Something that I just did the thing, the mod review for this. Okay, you can't. Alright, so that's fine. Something I would have loved to have seen. Oh, man, I shouldn't even say this because this gonna make me sound like the ultimate nitpicker. But the only thing I would love to have seen as a customization option was the color of the smoke box, because I like the real dark black graphite or almost black graphite color of the Southern smoke boxes like they had on 722 at one point during her excursion career. Now I think that graphite smoke box was put on it during her TVRM days of her excursion career, but I just like that look for some reason. Even on a black locomotive, I like the way that sort of blends the smoke box and the boiler jacket together. But we'll get this, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to go ahead if a consolidation pops up and grab it. I can't remember because I have had a full over 24-hour break since I recorded the end of the last video, the end of the first episode and the beginning of this one. But I said somewhere that I kind of wanted to limit myself as far as the number of locomotives I have as to how many stalls of roundhouses I have available plus one. So right now all we have is the Whittier engine shed, which means basically I have the ability to have 3 locomotives with that arbitrary set of rules. And I can break those technically, but I don't want to. So that means basically, with my set of rules, if a 280 pops up and I want it, I can go ahead and grab it, and then, we can use it for something. And then once we open Bryson up, then we'll have, a pretty good roster. We'll have this guy for, we'll have number 12 for all the big, heavy mainline freights, and then we can have number 9 to do all the stuff up here at East Whittier, and a locomotive to do all the stuff down around Bryson as well in another locomotive. Not saying I'm going to do that, but I might possibly do that. Now, one thing that I do have modded in is this big giant grain elevator, and I think I mentioned it in the last episode, that is going to produce an absolutely monstrous number of cars pretty quickly after it is opened up. So, with that being said, we're going to need some pretty hefty power. And at one time, something that, like, I was like, oh, I'd love to see a mod for this. Something at one time that I wanted to do was do leased locomotives. So, you know, we can buy a locomotive, and say for the East Whittier sawmill that, you know, call it something like the Whittier Lumber Company or something, and have a locomotive leased. So, for example, number 11, and not necessarily run the trains, because that would be really intense, I think, on both the back end as far as performance goes, and I think that would probably be very intense to have to code into the game, especially as a mod. But, you know, maybe just have certain tracks where you say, okay, well, you put however many log cars you want to lease out in service here, and put, you know, whatever locomotive here, you know, and it'll factor in XYZ. That the more I talk about it, because, you know, when I used to play, I had not really messed around with attempting to learn game development as much as I have now, and that would be intense. So yeah, forget I ever said anything about that. As cool as it would be, forget I said a single word about that. So we're getting ready to head to Ela. Like, this is incredible. Let me make sure. There's two things I want to make sure of before I send this train down to Ela. So I think all of these cars are going to the Ela Bridge site, correct? Yes. Something else I want to check is I want to teleport jump back to the yard here. Okay, these are all four going to the sawmill. I was scared one of those might have been a house track car that I missed and didn't pay attention to. But it's not. So, let's get number 12 and her 16-car long train down to Ela. Alright, we've got number 12 and her train down to the Ela siding. We're going to get her uncoupled and hooked to the back of the train and push all of our bridge materials down into position so that work can get started finally. I say finally, so that work can get started, excuse me, on the bridge to get us down to Bryson and the wealth of income that all the stuff in Bryson offers. Now, I've been trying to sort of plan out just a little bit how I want to do industries in Bryson, because I don't want to take all the industries in Bryson. That to me just seems like I'm going to push myself a little bit far. And so as a result, I think I'm going to try and take about half of the available industries. So we'll take, more than likely, we will take this grain elevator, and we probably, I probably won't mess with very much of the in-town industry. So the heating or coal and lumber company, I probably won't mess with. I might mess with Hollifield, or whatever this one is. I can't remember which one this one is. But probably we'll do the grain elevator and probably Appalachian hardwoods. And then eventually, we're going to do Robinson Gap and Alarka, because I do want a lot of Harper cars. I want to really be focusing in on doing the mines. In fact, which I don't know that the Alarka mine expansion mod that I have is working. I hope that it is. But that's the sort of thing where I'm probably going to have a full locomotive that just handles Alarka. Now, I can't remember, because I actually have never made it to Alarka in any of my series. But what I can't remember is if there's an engine shed at Alarka in the vanilla game state. If not, I may install some engine facilities at Alarka, and or have two separate locomotives for Alarka. One that sort of works, somewhere around Bryson half the time, and then, when the locomotive at Alarka needs to either be serviced or it needs coal and water, we'll send it back down with a train to Bryson and send the other one back up the next day with the train. That way we can kind of sort of keep everything manageable, I guess would be the best way to say that. But again, that we'll sort of worry about all that when we get to it. Something else is, because I'm using mods that will no longer get updated in this playthrough, the Maintenance of Way update will not be coming to any of my Railroader stuff unless I can figure out how to get a second instance of Railroader on my computer without it launching it in Steam every time, which I successfully have done with Skyrim. In fact, Skyrim's not even downloaded in my Steam Deck, or in my Steam app, whatever. So, if I can get something figured out for that, then we will do it. I will do it. But that's about the only way I'm going to do anything in this series with the Maintenance of Way update. Just as a heads up. Eventually, I'm really hoping to actually finish out this series without something breaking and all that. I also am not sure how to keep the game from force updating. And that's sort of what I mean by hopefully I can get another instance of Railroader going on my computer so that I don't have to worry about it doing that. Now let's jump up to Whittier to put down the waypoint to grab that car. I think if we put a waypoint down somewhere right here, that should do plenty well for us. Alright. Also, since we've now got all of this in motion, oh, I guess it would help if I popped 12 up to 20 miles an hour. So let's switch over to number 11 and fall through the ground. Oh man, we shouldn't have to wait but a couple of minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes is enough. Alright, so now let's get 11 set to go down to the sawmill and drop these cars off. And I think we're pretty much relegating number 11 to sawmill service, so she'll run logs up and down the mountain, and she'll be the locomotive sort of tasked with switching out the sawmill. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, the sawmill might be out of lumber. Yeah, the production stopped because the sawmill is out of lumber. That would be why. That's fine. I'll just leave it sitting here, and then we'll just have to grab it and add it to the outflow train, the outgoing train tomorrow. So that'll, it's kind of irritating, but it's not terrible. So we'll let number 11 get down here, or number 12 get to Whittier, whichever one happens first. We'll let that occur. Alright, so number 11 is about to get the log cars pushed in. Number 12 is about to be at her waypoint in Whittier as well. So once all the log cars are in, if I place the waypoint far enough forward... Alright, we can stop there. Oh, wait a minute. 11 cars of logs per day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We only have 8. So no wonder the sawmill isn't working at capacity. So tomorrow we need to buy... Hold on. So tomorrow we need to invest in one of these. This will hold 3 logs worth. And I may take out a loan, actually, and do 2 of them. That way we can take some length off of this. Because then we can run it and just have 2 skeleton cars. Right? 1 is 3. 2 is 6. Yeah. Duh. Alright, so let's set handbrakes. Let's set handbrakes. There we go. And we'll jump down here if I can do this without teleporting way out past these cars. We'll go ahead and get her set to run down here and hook up to that. And we'll jump back down to number 12. For as unrealistic as it is, we're not going all that far. So, and it's only 1 car. So we're going to grab this box car with the caboose between number 12 and it. I mean, I don't really think that's breaking my immersion too much. Which I don't know. For all I know, railroad companies did that kind of thing. So, we'll see. We can move this down to 89 as well. And number 12 should end up with a lot of miles on it. I mean, it's already got a lot of miles on it. What am I talking about? But we should end up putting a lot of miles on it. And then, again, once it gets down to like 50% max repair, or once it gets down pretty much to this level, is when we'll get an overhaul going, because we should by then have enough locomotives to handle that. Hopefully. Hopefully. As long as we do, that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so let's jump down here, and we're just gonna Huh. How do I want to do this? Let's actually set it. Let's set that boxcar in this track. And then we'll bring the sawmill cars from the mill. We'll actually bring them up to the rear of that. That way we can go ahead and get boxcar or log cars ordered. I think that'll be the best bet. I think. Again, not sure. But I want to see how much money we get from the sawmill before I go to take a loan out to buy these two cars. Because actually I can buy one now because of our discount. I could actually go ahead and purchase one now. So we'll go ahead and purchase one now. I mean, that leaves us with a balance of 120 bucks. But I mean, that's not really detrimental in any way. So it's brand new. It better be 100%. You know, I think let's go for a dark red. And then the lettering color. Yeah, we'll just leave the lettering color. Nah, let's do the lettering color as like our company lettering color. I just deleted the hashtag. In fact, let's have black freight cars. I like that. Having them, you know, be dark, very utilitarian. Oh, wow. Whoa, okay. And the main reason we're going to do that is because what we're going to do is we're going to set those log cars into storage somehow, somewhere. I didn't think about that. I don't know where we're going to actually store those log cars, because what I wanted to do was actually use the Scrap-A-Latcha mod, because I've never used it before, because I've never scrapped anything. I kind of wanted to save those, because we also get repair parts out of them. So like these things will give us this will give us 2.5 tons of parts and 1.3 tons of scrap, which is 318 bucks. But I think that will offset the price of selling them. Maybe. And I don't really intend on doing any pulpwood until we have a bigger fleet of locomotives anyway. So we can probably I'll probably just shove them in one of these pulpwood tracks here. Really. What in the world? Oh yeah, duh. It's like, what? Where am I hearing a whistle at? It's number 11. Yeah, I really like number 11. I really like this model. I like all the models in this mod pack, or in this mod, but this model particularly is just exquisite for me for some reason. I like small locomotives anyway. So, yeah. Let's get these down here. Okay, so we're about to drop the empties and grab the loads here. And I'm gonna go ahead and let it push it all the way to the waypoint. That way we have ample room tomorrow. Let's old number 11 up. All right, so 11 is at our waypoint. That should give us like 200 bucks. Yeah, 220 bucks. That's what I thought. So we'll grab these. And this car, well, actually, let's be a little cheeky here. There we go. So all we had to do was wait a few minutes. I don't even think I waited a full in-game hour there. All right, there's a 60 bucks for the East Winter interchange. We should be able to get up. Well, I think technically, no, we're not quite there yet. Yeah, yeah, we're technically where $1,000 loan right now would be enough. What whistles on this locomotive? It's got the Lukenheimer 3 on it. I think the Lukenheimer 3 is what's had the whole time. So, I haven't changed that whistle. But let's get number 12 out of the way here. Well, and the caboose. Get both of them out of the way. And we'll stick the caboose on this track. Just somewhere right in here. Alright, number 11 is at the waypoint. I think by the time we get back here with number 11, 12 will be out of the way. I think. Maybe. Hopefully. Come on. Come on, number 12. You can do it. Because I don't think number 11 is going to have very much of an issue getting this started. Absolutely not. What a beast. Is number 11's basis. Augusta Railroad 300. I wonder where that's at. They tell in the WNCRR stream what every basis is. So, I should know. But I certainly do not. Alright, let's get all this stuff situated real quick. Alright, so we've got the lumber traffic in place. I already did that? Okay. Alright, so let's unhook here. 12 is going to run out of 11's way so that we can have 11 sitting on the main. We'll use it to put these two log cars together. Or this log car and the log car we're going to buy. I guess I should say, is number 12 going? Why are you going 10? I wanted you to go 15. No wonder it's taking forever for her to get out of the way. And then we'll just put number 11 like right here. I'm not really sure how number 11 is going to achieve that. We'll see how number 11 is going to achieve that. We got 274 bucks from the sawmill, so that's nice. And then we're gonna grab a $1,000 loan here. All right, so this is worth 1,500 bucks, and our loan currently, our max loan's 13,200 bucks. What's that bring our loan up to? Yeah, okay. So, most definitely, the mod is most definitely working. I was kind of wondering if it was actually working or not. But it certainly is. Which is good. That's the whole purpose of me having the mod in the pack. But, kind of brings down our ability to... Hold on. I got that backwards. There we go. That's what we were looking for right there. Alright, and we'll change 11's waypoint to right here. Alright, number 12 is at her waypoint. So what we're going to do is we're going to open our time window, and we're going to advance it to noon. You'll see why. Oh, man. There are 280s. There's a lot of 280s. That one's 11,000, though. 7,000. Oh. It's a daggum high headlight one, unfortunately. Yeah, we're going to hold off, I think. I think we're going to hold off. We might buy one at the beginning of next episode. Now, we have to remember we only have roughly $10,000 of loan that we can take out. Right. And we're still going to have to pay this all back. So, you know, we've got to think about that as well. Now, we do have a Decapod for 14. Now, obviously, we couldn't get that. That would be an absolutely phenomenal locomotive to have. But we're not selling number 12 to get it. And, you know, oh well. You know, kind of oh well. Now, I say that I want centered headlight locomotives, but to be honest, the high headlight kind of fits. The high headlight kind of fits sort of our aesthetic here pretty well. So we might stick with high headlight locomotives. And most of the locomotives are high headlight only. So now if, like, this one is a centered headlight. So, you know, if that's what we end up with, then that's what we end up with. Kind of, it's the kind of the deal here. But let's pull the log cars up to, like, right here. And then we're going to run number 11 around them. And I will probably do that as I end the video. Do we need to give... We probably should give number 11 water tomorrow as well. So that's something I need to be remembering. But anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, I'm recording these all sort of back to back to back, at least the first 3 or 4 episodes, so I'm not going to get any feedback. But again, let me know how you like the new intro. Let me know how you're liking the series. If you like the fact that I'm sort of giving myself limitations, let me know what you guys think of that. And if you enjoyed the video, do what all the YouTubers ask you to do. And, I hope to see you again, even if I don't. I hope you all have a great day, and peace out.